Imagine this. It's a bright and sunny afternoon. You're playing with your kids outside in the backyard. You relax in a chair, enjoying the sounds of the birds as you watch your kids run around, smiling and laughing. You feel content and happy watching your family grow. Fast forward 6 hours later. It's 2 a.m. Your baby's woken up and starts crying. You wake up half asleep and drag yourself out of bed. You try to soothe your child as you fight off the desire to fall back asleep. Your baby continues to cry into the night until they finally stop. Relieved, you tuck your child back to bed and stumble back to your room as your eyes slowly close. Ah, the joys of parenting. Parenthood is romanticized.
The family that we're going to see is the white family. They're a typical family, and you may see in this family some of the things in your own family.
Our society loves parenthood. Movies and television shows show the best parts of parenting. Even commercials glamorize the role of parenthood. Parents are portrayed as upbeat and always there for their children. But it's not just the media that romanticizes parenthood. Go on Instagram and you'll see an endless supply of curated images of perfect families. Happy parents proudly show off their children and their accomplishments. At times, is parenting actually like this? Well, yes. The moments when your child hugs you or gives you a smile, those are the moments that make you go, aww. But let's face it, not everyone should have kids. Families are the foundation of a society. A healthy society needs healthy families. Dysfunctional families create a dysfunctional society. So with that being said, why are birth rates declining? The decline in fertility. In 1965, the average woman in the world had 5 children, but over the last 50 years, fertility rates have been cut in half. The global average fertility rate is 2.5 children per woman. This has largely been due to 3 main reasons. The first reason being the empowerment of women by giving them greater access to education, which has in turn increased their participation in the labor force. This has meant more women are choosing to focus on their careers, travel, and relationships, which means that having children are being pushed further in life. The second reason is the decline in child mortality rates, which is a fancy way of saying less children are dying. In the mid-18th century Europe, parents lost between 3 or 4 of their children. In fact, an English politician and barrister, William Brownlow, and his wife Elizabeth Duncombe had 19 children. Tragically, 13 of them died. Fast forward to 2021, 97.5% of babies will survive the first 5 years of life, no matter which country they are born into. The third reason is rising costs of raising children. Let's be honest, having kids is expensive. When you consider childbirth and maternity care, housing costs for a child, food costs for a child, childcare and education costs, transportation costs, and other costs like toys and clothing, that's around 22% of what you will spend on a single child. According to the USDA, the cost of raising a child from birth to when they're 18 years old is $233,610 for a middle-class family who are married and have 2 children. So that's approximately $12,980 per year. Consequently, this has led to the decline in population growth worldwide. So what have people been doing instead? The rise of the Childfree movement.
Americans aren't making babies, and that's bad.
It's almost as if millennials and Gen Z have repeatedly said that we don't even make enough money to sustain ourselves, let alone a fucking child. The boomers told us that if we want higher paying jobs, all we have to do is go to college. Well, guess what? We did that, and now we're drowning in student debt, and we still don't make enough to sustain ourselves. My monthly student loan payments are the reason that I, at the age of nearly 23, can't afford to rent an apartment. And you want me to think about kids? Are you fucking insane? Do you know how much money it costs to raise a child in the United States? Nearly $300,000. You told us to not have kids if we can't afford them. So, we're not having kids. We can't afford them. Don't be mad at us because you fucked up the economy. And finances aside, the planet is dying. In 30 years, there's gonna be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Why the hell would I want to bring somebody into this world? I wouldn't be shocked if climate change killed me before I was even a senior.
TikTok, hashtags like hashtag Childfree and hashtag not having kids has garnered 162 million views. The term child-free has been used to replace the traditionally held childless term, which was associated with the societal expectation that women should be having children. Today, more women are choosing to become child-free, even though they're in relationships. The choice of not having kids is a personal and complicated matter. Women's reasons for not having kids range from economic insecurity, political instability, the growing climate crisis, changing gender norms, and simply not wanting to be parents. Motherhood also requires an immense amount of support. The saying, "it takes a village to raise a child," rings true, but over time, these support systems have been slowly disappearing as families move away from extended relatives. Parents are also saying they lack adequate and reasonably priced government support. If more parents were provided with parental leave and cheaper childcare, this may incentivize more women to have children. But the choice to not have kids has also been met with criticism from others. Child-free women are considered selfish, entitled, and heartless, which creates a negative stigma around choosing to be child-free. Traditional society has mainly viewed women as reproducers, and there is still a negative judgment associated with being child-free by choice. But women in the child-free movement are speaking up about the ability to have a choice without society's negative evaluations on them. The message is having a child should be your personal choice and freedom, just like choosing motherhood is. Ultimately, you may want to have children or you may not want to have children, so maybe it's time that our society starts to respect and understand the choices of women to remain child-free or become mothers. Children can be a real blessing to parents who want to have children, but having a child simply for the sake of fitting into society's expectations when you are not absolutely certain about parenthood sets you up for resentment and bitterness. Children deserve to have parents who are 100% committed to raising them to be healthy, functioning adults that contribute to society. To not do so would be a disservice to future generations. Having children cannot be reversed, so it's a decision that you should not take lightly. Women have the free will to choose whether they want children, and it's a choice that should not be dictated by external pressure, but rather a choice that comes from their personal convictions. So simply put, having children should be a choice, not an obligation.